All right, guys, let's review how to turn on the projector and how to connect the laptop. Now, for right now, I'm using my own laptop, but it will be exactly the same when we use the dance program laptop, except that one you'll have to log in using your TDSB credentials the first time. Okay, but aside from that, identical. So first things first, I have marked on the stage, right there, if you can see it right up close, you can see that I've marked it. Let's put this over here so you can see it. There it is. I have struck the stage there. I just used some yellow tape, and that seems to be quite a bit the absolutely perfect place to stand when you're going to turn your projector on. Okay. Now, fingers crossed, I am going to work on like a better wireless something or other so that we can do this from the booth. But until then, we have to stand here in full display of our audience and turn this annoying thing on. So I have my remote control right here. Okay, so to turn on, we're going to use the green button. To turn off, you have to hit the red button twice. So I'm going to hit the green button. Ideally, you hit it once, and you do have to give the projector usually about 2 minutes to warm up, and then you are going to see the projector main screen. Okay? So I'm going to stand on my sweet spot. There it is. And I'm going to point right up to the hole where the projector is, and I'm going to press my green button once. Now, because we had it on over lunch, which was less than an hour ago, okay, more than an hour ago now, when I pressed it, I actually saw a little green light flash on, which kind of tells me that it should be a little bit quicker, a little bit more is warmed up still, so this should come up fairly fast. But I also admit I am that person who will press the elevator button because I want it to come faster. So sometimes I do get impatient, and I go and I press that green button again, which does not hurt the projector. So in this case, kind of like when I demonstrated before, I didn't press it again, and you see it did still take about 2 minutes. Now the nice thing is, you can see it also just got brighter, so it really did warm itself up. So there is the name of my wireless adapter. Again, we're hoping to get one, that's kind of owned by the school, but for now, I don't mind using my own. It's super reliable. Okay, so there's that CJT we talked about, and WDA. So CJT is me. WDA stands for Wireless Display Adapter. And you'll always get this lovely reminder right here. Connect by pressing the Windows key and K. This, of course, is one of the holdups with this particular wireless display adapter. It only works with Windows machines. So it doesn't work with those, those fruity devices. Which doesn't make it ideal, but we are going to always encourage people when they come into the auditorium to use our device. And the lovely thing is we can connect from the booth, we can connect from here. The wireless adapter can be reached from anywhere in the auditorium, okay? And in point of fact, you can also connect using a cell phone. So before we get our first assembly, I'm going to put a password on it so that people can't just log in from the audience, and I will obviously share that password. All right, so now we're going tripod free. So when you have your computer, okay, you're going to want to hit your Windows key, and you're going to want to hit K. Okay, and you can see right here, okay, so it's already found it. All I have to do is now hit this display, and it's going to say it's trying to connect. Okay. Now the interesting thing, while it's doing that, I am going to do this. Oh, see, it just flipped. But you saw for a second that there was a little loading circle. Okay, so it will show on the projector as well that it is connecting. So now you can see here, okay, it says change projection mode, which we don't need to do. You can disconnect from here. But also, if I click here, see, it's just going to go away. But this is the nice part. So you look up here. Here we go. We have this lovely little window, and this will show up on the dance computer up in the booth as well. It says connected to CJT-WDA. Okay, so we can use this to disconnect. We can also hit this lovely push pin, and then it unpins it, which means it disappears, which is super lovely. Now, I have it set to duplicate everything on my screen. Okay, so whatever I have here is also going to show up on our big screen. Okay. So this is how the system works. And I'm going to walk up to the booth and I'm going to show you. My computer, I believe we're going to have to change it. The dance computer will automatically connect to our speaker system. So here's the thing. When you connect through HDMI, whether it's wirelessly like we're doing now, or whether you actually like plug it into your computer, my port's over here, you often have to tell the sound card where to send the signal, because it won't necessarily default to the HDMI. As you guys may or may not know, I hope you do, an HDMI cord will send a visual signal, so your screen signal, and it'll also send the sound signal. So you don't need a separate cord for sound. However, sometimes you need to tell the computer where to send that signal. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in over here. So you can see this is my speaker right here. So when I click on it, you can see already it just comes up. It says digital output CJT-WDA 100%. So it is sending my sound signal through the wireless connector into our system. So this will work just fine. Okay, now I can't test it because I don't actually have the amplifier on, so nothing will come out, but it is now connected. But you see, if I click on this, okay, and here's my sound speaker. Okay, so here's my volume. If I click on this beautiful little thing, so it says manage audio devices. Okay, you'll see I do have 2 of them there, and that should happen. Okay, when you're connecting wirelessly, it will come up as digital output CJT-WDA because you're connecting through that dongle. If you're not connected at all, it's going to go back through my speaker headphone, which is native to my laptop. Alrighty, so now I'm in the booth and you can see we still have our projection screen down there. It's still mimicking this screen right here. And it actually did not flicker as I walked from the pit to the booth. So here is our display adapter. So this actual black piece right here, connected to power here, and connected to an HDMI extension cord. That extension cord goes all the way down here to right there. So that's where it plugs in to connect with our actual system, okay? So whether you're in the booth, whether you're on the stage, backstage, wherever. Now here's the trick. If you are backstage, this signal might be a little bit flickery, which means it might suddenly turn off, turn back on, you get a blink. You won't get that screen, that login screen, but I did have that happen before I connected this right here. So the reason I put this here is because, as you can see, it's hanging inside the window, so it has what's called a sight line. Okay, so it's a clear signal that you can still receive on the screen. When I had this on the table, even just this little lip right here would actually interfere with the signal. When I was teaching, it was literally almost like the projector blinked off and then blinked on again. And I would still have my same screen, but you would get that funny blink. And that was because the signal was a bit inconsistent. Okay, so that's why I did it this way. Now, I am going to actually plug in an HDMI wire so you can see the difference. But before I do, maybe I should show you how we disconnect. So super duper easy. All I'm gonna do, come on mouse. Okay, I'm gonna use my touch screen. Sorry guys, because my mouse pad doesn't work very well. So I'm gonna open up my little menu here. Hey, come back. Oh, you booger. There it is, disconnect. And so now I'm back to my login screen there, okay? So when I unplug this, that screen is going to go away because that is the screen that is projected by our wonderful wireless display adapter here, which is in fact, I've got a little bit of adhesive Velcro there just to kind of keep it in place. And just so you know, when you touch it, it will be warm. Shouldn't be hot, but it will definitely be warm. It's creating heat as it's sending those signals. So to continue where we left off, so this is the computer plugged in directly to the HDMI. So you can see the HDMI is plugged in here. Now, instead of plugging it directly into the wall, it's so much easier just to plug it into this extension, which is what we initially had the wireless display adapter connected to, because this one already goes to the wall over there. So this becomes a much easier solution. And as you can see, the instant I do that, it copies right away. Okay. And here's where we can see the different name for the speaker. So again, if I click on my speaker down here, if I go into here, so I'm on Windows 11, so this will look a little bit different on our the dance program computer. You won't have this more complicated menu. So you can see now, instead of seeing the CJT-WDA, you're going to see Crestron. Okay, and that is, well, to be honest, I'm not actually sure what that is. Maybe that's the name of the projector. I don't know why it comes up as Crestron. I mean, there's a reason, a logical reason. I just don't know what it is. So that's what comes up when you plug in an HDMI directly into a computer. So if a teacher, for example, brings their own computer and they want to connect directly with HDMI, we have an HDMI plug also backstage with a nice long cord that just stays there. When they plug it in, they will probably also get this kind of a duplication. You may have to manually go into the sound and choose Crestron, because often what will happen is the computer will simply default to their own onboard speakers. So when they play a video or anything, it's going to play on the computer speakers, but it's not going to play on our system. And that can be very, very frustrating. As I said, mine instantly changes because it's used to being connected to the system. And of all the tests that I've done with the dance program computer, it also connects automatically, which is one of the reasons why we want to encourage teachers to be using our computer. Okay. Now, I will show you one interesting thing. So you remember from the other half of the video, when we had the wireless display connected, it had sort of a save screen up here. Now this becomes different when nothing is connected. So for example, we have the HDMI connected here, right, to my computer. When I unplug that, this screen will not go into a holding screen. It will go blank, okay? So it will do this. So you see, this is out. There's no signal. It just goes blank. Just to show you, I'm gonna now plug it back into the dongle and you'll see that screen change. Hang on one sec. All right, so now you can see we have the dongle plugged in again, and then we are back to our home screen, okay, ready to connect. So in the middle of an assembly, this is obviously not ideal, but we shall tackle that hurdle when we get to it. That is it for the video on how to put this together.